What I found is that some objects from the asset store won't rotate because they're not tiled by default. I got a cool little workaround that's going to help us get past that, and I'm going to share it with you in this section. Here we're going to add a new object from the asset store and then make that object rotate. Let's click on Add a New Object. Select the Asset Store tab. Type in wood. Let's use this wooden panel sprite. Could be resized. That's good. Add to the scene. Close. Before we add this to our scene, we're going to add a new object. This time we're going to add a new object from scratch. Go to Tiled Sprite and choose a file, and the file that we want is the wooden background. Notice the default height and width. Let's rename this to Rotating Wood Background. Select the Behaviors tab, add a new behavior, type 3D, and we want this 3D box projection. So type the 32 for the depth, which matches the height and width that we took a note of earlier. Click Apply. Add your rotating wood background to the scene, somewhere in front of your camera. Make it a little bit bigger. Notice the Z order is currently 56 and the Z order of the camera is 32. Let's bring this up to 75. And let's take a look. Seems a little high. Could be that's a little close to the camera, so bring that back. That's better, so we're going to leave that there. Now we're going to rotate, so click on the Events tab, add a new event, add an action, select your rotating wood background, type the word rotate, and let's move this at 65 degrees per second, see what that looks like. Hit OK, hit preview. And you have a rotating wooden object. Showing you the same thing on an object that is not tileable by default. Click on the Add a New Object. Click on the Asset Store. Select a crate. Notice that it's not sizable. It would be listed here as it was before. Click Add to the Scene. Close. And before we add our crate, we're going to add a new object. This time, new object from scratch, tiled sprite, select an object. And this time we want crate. We're going to rename this as rotating crate. Notice the default height and width. Add a behavior. Select the 3D box projection from a tiled sprite. Depth is going to be 32. And click Apply. Bring in our rotating crate. Resize that. And actually, let's put that up there. And the order is 76. We're going to leave that there for the moment. See what it looks like. Click Preview. Go to the Events tab. And let's copy this line and paste it. And this time we want to rotate the rotating crate at 45 degrees. Click OK. Preview that. And now both objects rotate. Here we're going to add an object from the asset store, which is tiled and can be rotated by default. Click on Add a New Object. Click on the Asset Store tab. Type in the word tile. We're going to use this green background tiled sprite. And we can see here that it can be resized. add to the scene, close, drag this into your scene somewhere in front of your camera, double click, notice the default height and width, click on the Behaviors tab, add a behavior, type 3D, and you notice that the 3D box projection from tiled sprite is available this time. We want to change this to 128 and leave the rest as default. Click Apply, preview that. Let's resize it, it's a little big. And also go to the Events tab, and we're going to copy and paste again. This time we're going to rotate the green background, and we'll choose 35 degrees per second. Click Preview on that. And there you have a rotating tiled cube that didn't require the workaround. You can go back in and resize this to 32 by 32. And change the depth to 32 as well. Click Apply on that, preview, and that makes our cube more of a manageable size as opposed to being so tall. I hope this helps you. We'll see you next time.